To all our guests in India, good evening, and to all our guests in the United States, good morning. My name is Narasimhan, and on behalf of the Visionary India team, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome each and every one of you. I am joined here by the Chairman of Visionary India, Sri M.S. Rajgaru, and the President of Visionary India, Dr. Colonel M. Sitaram Garu. It is a very special day for all of us at VisionAid as we inaugurate our Digital Accessibility Testing and Training Center. Over the course of this event, we celebrate many things. First, one second, sorry. Yeah. Over the course of this event, we celebrate many things. First, we warmly congratulate all the students who have graduated from the rigorous training program. Two batches of around 30 students have successfully completed an intensive and rigorous 4.5 month long training course in accessibility testing. Over the course of this event, you will get to meet those students as well as our amazing training team and other staff of program management. We also celebrate the completion of our first customer project in this area. A team of 6 of our visually impaired students and staff worked on a testing project for a 6-week period for for a US based healthcare company and delivered the project on schedule and winning the appreciation of our customer. Over the course of this event, you will learn about this project also. We wish to thank our donors who helped us begin this project. The first phase of this initiative was supported by Mrs. Sundari Mitra, popularly known as Chinnari, and her husband, Mr. Samir Mitra, in the honor of Mrs. Chinnari's parents, Vissa Sahadev Rao Garu and Srimati Kamala Sahadev, and we will have the pleasure of introducing them also in the course of this event. We are joined today by many dignitaries and VIP guests and many in the VisionAid family. During the event, we will introduce some of them also to you. We thank each and every one of you for taking time from your schedule to join this virtual ceremony. The flow of the event will be as follows. I will invite Mr. Ramakrishna Raju, Executive Director and Founder of VisionAid USA, along with Mrs. Revati Ramakrishna, who is the co-founder of VisionAid USA. We will then introduce our chief guests and other special guests. The event will conclude with a vote of thanks from the Chairman and President of VisionAid USA and India. I expect the event to conclude in about 1 hour and 15 minutes, plus or minus. I now request Mr. Ramakrishna Raju and Revati Raju to take us through this event and present an overview of VisionAid and specifically the digital accessibility testing and training activity and also the other steps of the program. Over to you, Ram. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, VLN. I just want to do a sound check. Can you see the PowerPoint slide in front of me, Revati? And can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, good morning to everyone in the US. Good evening to everyone in India. It's wonderful to see a large group of well-wishers and friends. A warm welcome to one and all. It's a very happy day for us here. We have a big group and it's a mix. Some people are coming for the very first time to any VisionAid event. They don't know anything about VisionAid. Some people have been with Vision 8 for many years, but they don't know anything about digital accessibility. So we'll talk a little bit about digital accessibility and what this Digital Accessibility Center is. So in the course of this event, in the course of my presentation, I'll cover briefly a few words about Vision 8, talk about digital accessibility, talk about why Vision 8 is getting into digital accessibility testing. Each of these topics is a big topic requiring half an hour to 1 hour in itself. I'm going to spend less than 5 minutes on each topic. So at times, it is going to feel like an express train. So I apologize if I'm going very fast. Always happy to talk afterwards with anyone who's interested about any of these topics. But the idea is to just give a quick overview and set the context before we go to the main part of the event, where we are meeting our students, we are meeting our staff, and we get to know them and celebrate and congratulate their accomplishments, because we have 30 students who have graduated from the first round of digital accessibility testing. And also we have completed our first successful project. We'll then meet a few special guests, including our chief guests, as pointed out by Mr. Narasimhan. So a few words about Vision 8 for those who are coming for the first time to our Vision 8 event.
She looks like mother.
Okay, Mr. M.S. Raju needs to go on mute, please. We can hear you. Okay, sorry about that. So the mission of Vision 8 is to enable, educate, and empower the visually impaired so that they can live with independence and dignity. And the vision is to create a network of resource centers with a range of resources, services, and devices for the visually impaired. The three pillars of Vision 8 are educate, enable, educate, and empower. So when we talk about Vision 8, what do we mean? So we use the term Vision 8 family, and it's actually a big group. Here in the US, we have a leadership team which comprises of 28 volunteer leaders, myself included. Revati and myself are here. Several of our leadership team is here. And you'll be hearing from Mr. Purandang, our chairman, Mr. Syed Rizvi, our president, and others in the course of this call. In India, we have, again, a board of 9 members, and you'll be hearing from the chairman, Mr. M.S. Raju. You heard from Mr. V.L. Narasimhan, the secretary, Colonel Sitaram, who's the current president, and several others, again, all volunteers. We have a staff of about 30 staff members working in different projects across and programs across Vision 8. We have a volunteer base of about 140 volunteers, both in India and US. So a large part of the programs are actually covered by volunteers. So we feel very lucky and blessed. Many of those volunteers are here with us today. And in addition to that, through our grants, we are supporting about 15 staff members in different locations in India. So Vision 8 Partners uses a partnership model because we believe our partners are doing amazing work, and together we can do more. So our partners include several eye hospitals, including the Arvind Eye Hospital in Madurai, Shankara Nethralaya in Chennai, Shroff Charity Eye Hospital in Delhi. And this year we are in conversation with LV Prasad Eye Institute, who's already a leader in the field, and we are exploring common areas of collaboration. We are happy to see Dr. G.N. Rao is here with us today, as well as several people from our other partner organizations like Arvind, and Shankar Nethralaya and Shroff as well. So welcome to one and all. We also partner with blind schools in India, and we have several blind schools in the network, and the count keeps increasing every year, spread all over the map in India. We work with community care organizations in India, which do work within the community, examples being Blind People's Association in Gujarat, Milton Foundation in Berhampur, Seva Bharti in Mangalore, and so on. And in addition to that, we do a number of programs online. So we have a growing virtual presence, which has only grown bigger during COVID because we have had to rely a lot on online programs. The particular program we are talking about today, Digital Accessibility Testing, is one of the online programs. But we do have about 12 centers physically located in different parts of India in our partner networks, and including our flagship center in Vision 8 in Vizag itself. And that network keeps expanding every year. So by the end of 2020, we will have 12 locations. Last year in 2019, 3,500 plus people were served through various rehabilitation programs at VisionAid. This year, because of COVID, it's a little uncertain, but that's the general trend, is that we keep adding more resource centers and serving more people thanks to the support of our donors and our partners and many others who are a part of the VisionAid family. VisionAid has a model which we have evolved over 15 years. VisionAid started its journey 15 years ago, and we have learned through this journey what are the useful services. So under the pillars of enable, educate, and empower, we have 16 different elements. Starts with early intervention and functional vision for low vision programs for adults, assistive devices and technology, again for adults, and then a range of training programs, including orientation and mobility training, computer training, mobile technologies, special skills, training in Braille, livelihood assistance, life skills. Again, I'm going very fast just to save time, but just to give you an idea, spoken English, counseling programs, advocacy, outreach, training and professional development, research and development, and also organizing several conferences and events, both here in India. So there's about 16 broad program areas. And one of the areas is special skills, and that's what digital accessibility comes under. So what we're talking about today is one of several things which VisionAid is doing today in our programs, but it's a very, very important piece. And I'll explain why it's so important and exciting. So digital accessibility testing comes under the special skills training area of VisionAid. And we've already been doing some work here, like training in computer programming. So we've actually been training visually impaired students in computer programming for 3+ years. Several students have gone through that program. Some of them have gone on to get jobs in the industry as IT programmers, computer programmers, very, very proud of them. We'll be hearing later from Dr. Chuck, who's one of our supporters, an expert in the education field. We actually use his courses to teach our students. We also have several advanced technical courses where we assign mentors. And then, of course, digital accessibility testing itself. That's the main focus of the topic today. But I just wanted to give you the broad map of what VisionAid is doing before diving into the specific topic today. And so that's like maybe a 5-minute elevator pitch about VisionAid for anyone who didn't know what VisionAid was doing. Now I'm going to go straight into the main topic for today, which is digital accessibility testing. What is digital accessibility testing? If you haven't heard the term before and you're wondering what the term is, just a few minutes to explain what it is. So digital accessibility testing is the practice of removing barriers that prevent people with disabilities from accessing information. Digital information could be information on websites. That's a common area. So oftentimes people with disabilities are unable to access digital information systems like websites because they are not properly developed, following the proper standards and tools and technologies. So there is a wide spectrum of disabilities. The most common ones are physical, visual, auditory, cognitive, and speech. People with disabilities use a range of assistive technologies to access digital information systems. And these assistive technologies could include, for example, things like screen readers, pointing devices, switches, alternate keyboards in order to access digital information. This is, again, a very small list, and just to give you an idea. And there are many, many barriers to digital systems for people with disabilities. Imagine yourself, if you're a person who doesn't have any disabilities and you're blessed, imagine how you would feel if 90% of the websites that you were trying to access every day could not be used or had barriers which prevented you from using them. Well, this is how this is the situation people with disabilities are facing every day, because according to recent studies, over 90% of information systems and websites are actually not accessible for people with disabilities. So this is a challenge which people with disabilities face every day, and improving the accessibility of these systems helps to eliminate the barriers. So a few examples of barriers which exist in websites. So if someone publishes a website which has a lot of photos and images, but they do not describe what the images are in the form of alternate text, well, a person who is blind or vision impaired will not be able to understand what's being displayed on the website. So other example is audio or video content on a website doesn't have test transcription. So somebody who's hearing impaired would not be able to actually understand what is being said in an audio or video. Once again, many websites are built with mouse-only operations, which, people who can use a mouse can easily navigate and use the websites, but people who are unable to use a mouse because of motor disabilities or physical disabilities, they are now not able to use that functionality. And some websites are just complex and non-intuitive in content, and that can create problems for people with cognitive disabilities. So in order to address this, there are several standards. I'm not going to go into all of them, but the most popular one is called WCAG 2, which is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. It's a comprehensive range of standards which defines how people who are building digital systems can make systems accessible, in particular websites. And the bolded line at the end is that the beauty of these guidelines is that if people follow these guidelines, not only does the web content become accessible for people with disabilities, but it also becomes accessible for a wide range of others, people who are aging and people who have, language issues, or people who have low bandwidth and can't access content. So really making systems accessible for people with disabilities makes it accessible for a much wider spectrum of people, even people who don't have disabilities. So the WCAG2 standard, can be summed up in these 4 words, keywords. You make the system perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. So that's kind of, again, in a very quick nutshell. And our experts in accessibility will be, happy to talk to you for hours about this topic. It's a very big topic, which I'm covering in a few seconds. But there's a total of about 63 success criteria defined in the standards. And based on where you are with your website or system, you could be A or AA or AAA rated. And many systems, unfortunately, are non-compliant. So basically, this is where digital accessibility comes in, is basically people need to understand what these standards are, test the websites, and help to make it accessible. So why should people make systems accessible? Well, it increases your reach because estimates, a recent study in the US finds that over 20% of people in the US have some form of disability or the other. Global estimates by World Health Organization puts the number closer to 15, but even 15% to 20% is a high number. So by making your system accessible, all of a sudden you're increasing your reach by at least 20%. But as I mentioned earlier, you are also reaching, as a byproduct, a much larger audience who would otherwise have difficulties. In addition to that, several organizations have to follow legal compliance. In particular, here in the US, any system funded by the US government has to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. There's a specific, standard called Section 508, and people have to comply with Section 508 in, if they're a government-funded system. So sometimes people have to do it. There's really no choice, especially if they're government-funded. But really, most people are now looking at this as something which is just, it makes sense to do for so many reasons, because it makes their websites better. A more accessible system is more usable for all. It's more intuitive for all. It improves your search engine rankings. There are just so many benefits that there's a big push as the awareness increases to make systems more accessible and to understand what these accessibility testing standards are. So that's why we got into it. We've constantly in our journey looked at the industry to see how do we look at the space and take advantage of what's out there for our visually impaired students, so that we can actually find something meaningful and useful for our students to do. So we found that there's a strong market demand for people who have quality skills in accessibility testing. And in addition to that, people with disabilities have a particular advantage. So they're very effective at accessibility testing. So if you take a person with disabilities and give them training in different standards and give them skills and give them practice, they can actually become very good accessibility testers. There's also a strong interest in India amongst the visually impaired community. Many people were approaching us, asking us about when we are going to start a digital accessibility course. And a year or so back, we got lucky connecting with several experts in the field who are leading experts, and they volunteered their time with us, helped us shape a program. And you're going to meet some of those people as soon as I get off this PowerPoint. So that's kind of the background story of VisionAid. It's really a win-win-win. It's a win for our visually impaired students because now they can they can learn a skill which actually gets them employed. This has always been kind of the gold standard. It's not enough to just teach people basic skills, but how do you actually get a visually impaired person employed? Because that's the mission of VisionAid, is to basically help people live with independence and dignity by finding gainful employment if that's what they're looking for. It's a win for our customers who bring projects to VisionAid, as well as organizations where our students get placed, because they are now getting a highly trained workforce. And it's a win for the world at large because digital systems are now becoming more accessible. The more people we train, the more people we deploy in testing projects, the more issues which are found and fixed, the better it is for the whole ecosystem, because we are making the world a more accessible place, the digital world a more accessible place. So within the DATC, Digital Accessibility Testing and Training Center, DATTC, there are three functions: testing, training, and empowering. So within the testing function, we actually started the program in 2019. We've had 2 training batches. We are graduating 30 students. You'll see several of them shortly as soon as I finish this PowerPoint. Around 20 of the students are blind and 10 of them have low vision conditions. We had a large application pool from all over India. Over 100 people applied. So the team had to actually filter through 100 applications and select qualified candidates who could actually go through the training. Very proud of the team of 5 trainers who actually worked very diligently. You'll see some of them in the video. Some of them couldn't join us, but it's a very committed, highly motivated team which worked with our students. Students go through 4.5 months of training. It's a very rigorous, structured, standard course. And at the end of it, students actually come out with skills which earn them internationally recognized certifications. So using the certifications, not only they can get jobs, but we can also convince our customers to actually send projects our way, because our customers have confidence that our students have learned the skills, they're certified, and they can actually get the job done. The testing component of the center actually has qualified and skilled staff. We not only have VisionAid students, but we also have several industry experts who are committed to the cause. They actually work full-time jobs in the IT industry. They volunteer time with us. We've developed agile processes and testing tools in our Digital Accessibility Center. And I'm happy to inform you that we have just completed our first successful live project. We delivered it last month. It was a healthcare company, a US healthcare company. We are not going to get into names for confidentiality reasons, but the company was kind enough to actually give us a pilot project. It was a paid project, so they paid VisionAid. We in turn turned around, paid our team of staff who was working on the project. The team uncovered 250 accessibility issues in 25 web pages, out of which 100 of them were high or medium. The customer is a very happy customer, and already some conversations are happening about next steps and what we can do about remediating these. And hopefully this is one of many projects which we'll do. In addition to testing and training, we also help our students who are interested with developing soft skills, writing resumes, go through coaching and mentoring, networking with employers for jobs, and also kind of finding placement assistance. So unlike other organizations which worry about turnover, we are actually happy when students in VisionAid, DATTC find good jobs in the industry. We encourage them to actually go wherever they want. So we're always happy when our students get good jobs, because we are here to make our students succeed. And several of them have actually landed jobs in the industry as digital accessibility testers, and we'll see some of that in the upcoming sections. Finally, this is my last slide. VisionAid is a nonprofit organization, so this is a part of a nonprofit initiative. A lot of the work in the DATTC is actually done by paid volunteers. Anytime I put in whatever my 2 cents I put in as a volunteer is just one example. There are many people who put in their time as volunteers. So the collective costs of the DATTC are significantly low because people believe in this amazing cause and they come forward to support it. The revenue generated from the customer projects are used to pay the testers, and any surplus which is left from that is reinvested back into the DATTC. And thanks to the support of our donors who you'll meet shortly, all the 30 students who were with us on the training were actually received the training free of cost. And they actually were all asked to make a small deposit upfront, like a security deposit, because we always want students to show us that they're committed. So everyone's asked to make an upfront deposit. Once they complete the course, this money is refunded back to them. So that, I think, is my last slide. Thank you all for watching. Oh, I just want to make a plug here that anyone who watches this and believes in this cause and feels like supporting this program, as a philanthropic donation, if you want to support one student, want to support one batch, please feel free to contact us. Always happy to talk to you about how you can get involved and engaged in helping more students succeed and helping us to scale this program. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. Again, apologies for running through it like an express train. I was going very, very fast intentionally so that we can move on with the main part of the program, kind of meeting our students and so on. So I'll now hand it over to Revati to walk us through the next steps of the program.
You can hear me, correct?
Yes, Revati, over to you. Yes, we can hear.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Visionary team here in the United States, it gives me immense pleasure, and I join Ram, Mr. V.L. Narasimhan, and our India team in welcoming one and all from many cities in both in the US and in India who are here with us to celebrate this special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce our amazing students and the DATT team. We have around 30 students who graduated and several team members, all of them here with us today, watching the event. To avoid the inevitable technical issues that arise when introducing so many people from so many places all over India, we decided to introduce them via 2 films. At this point, I would also like you to request us to please excuse for any audio issues that you see during the film, since the students and staff have used their cell phones for audio recordings during this pandemic. First, we present a very short invocation song from 2 of our students, Gayatri and Lakshmi. This is a universal Indian prayer in Sanskrit. The prayer, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, is translated as, may all be prosperous and happy, may all be free from illness, may all be enlightened, may no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let's listen to the prayer now.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः
सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः
सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
मा कश्चित् दुःखभगा भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, Gayatri and Lakshmi. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the amazing students who have completed the intensive DATT training program and the team that supported them. They are spread all over India, and we asked each of them to briefly introduce themselves and tell us why they wanted to learn about accessibility testing and what their experiences were. Students were encouraged to speak frankly and from the heart and did not use any scripts or suggestions from VisionAid. Let us now watch the film from our students and hear from our students.
One moment. Please stand by.
Vision 8 Digital Accessibility Testing and Training Center. A vision to make digital world accessible for all. Testing using the best tools, processes and people. Training, highly subsidized training for the visually impaired. Empowering the visually impaired to reach their full potential.
Hi everybody, this is Jayanti from Hyderabad, Senior Program Coordinator for Vision 8 training programs in India. Last year we came up with the Digital Accessibility Testing Training Program having one single goal in mind, that is find a skill that has huge employment potential. We were very fortunate to get a dedicated, committed, enthusiastic trainers, training assistants and good curriculum to train on and workable processes for classroom management and record keeping. We had our first program of training from August to December in 2019. We initiated the program and we never knew how 16 weeks went away. By December, we had 12 graduates out of our first pilot program. And the learning experience for the students, it was so good and effective. We started getting a lot of inquiries and requests for the second run. We had our second program from May 2020, which concluded 2 weeks back. And we have another 18 more well-trained, ready for the industry, digital training testing graduates. It's very rare that we get a program where so many pieces fall in line for a great success. A good training subject, great training team, and ambitious students wanting to grab everything that is taught, and a good job potential. And we are seeing the effect of the employability aspect. A lot of our students are getting placement, and not only placement, they are also getting us the good feedback from the industry that here is a team which is well trained. They go out of the way to find out where they got trained from. That's a success.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here. I welcome you all on behalf of Vision 8. My name is Sarah Khosla. I'm basically from Odisha, but I have been raised up in Hyderabad. Since 2018, I have been associated with persons with disability sector. Recently, in May 2020, I have been engaged through Vision 8 as a program manager, and my first association with Digital Accessibility Testing Training Program Batch 2. I have learned a lot and still learning that how accessibility has become one of the important part of the software development life cycle and in most need in software development organizations. For this, I thank Ram sir, VLN sir, Jayanti ma'am, Ashwin, Bhargav, Megha, Gayatri and all of my team to making this possible journey. I also thank you for making me part of this. I take this moment to thank you. I wish you good luck and all the best. Thanking you all.
On screen, Batch 1 Student Collage.
Hello everyone and Namaste. My name is Gayatri and I am from Hyderabad.
Hi, I am Chandrasekhar from Chintamani, Karnataka.
I am Raju and I came from Hyderabad.
Hello everyone, I'm Cynthia Singh from Bihar.
My name is Akash Dar and I am from Jammu and Kashmir. Friends, why I joined this course is just because of my interest in computers and technology.
I joined in Vision 8 Digital Accessibility Training to learn the WCAG guideline because I am looking for a job in IT field.
I have joined Vision 8 DATTC program to learn about accessibility, also to increase my career opportunity.
I was searching for jobs based on my education and I didn't get any suitable job. And at that time, one of my trainers have gave me a suggestion to try in accessibility environment.
I came across this advertisement of accessibility testing.
I have zero knowledge on WCAG, so to have good knowledge on WCAG, I have joined this course. I decided to take digital accessibility testing because of my interest.
I joined Vision 8's digital accessibility training course in order to enhance my skills.
The reason I joined the course is I wanted to learn about web accessibility.
I joined this digital accessibility testing training program to attain uncommon success in the rest of my life.
I joined this digital accessibility course because I am very passionate about accessibility and for the career growth also.
Hello, I am Gajendra. I am from Delhi and I was joined DATTC class because for job purpose.
While I was in my second year of working as an accessibility tester, I realized in order to move forward in my career, I needed to enhance my skills.
In today's world, everything is transforming towards digitization, and if that content is not accessible, then the large number of community will remain deprived. That's why I decided to learn web accessibility and contribute something to the society.
I'm happy to say that I was the student of digital accessibility testing training part 1.
I'm part of the first training batch.
I'm part of a Visionaire in DATTC batch 2.
I have undergone digital accessibility testing training through Vision 8.
Before joining the course, I was totally unaware about the term accessibility, what is the accessibility and why it comes and everything.
But when I was associated with Vision 8 and once our training was started, I fell in love with the subject.
From the well-designed curriculum to the hands-on experience on accessibility testing we got is just impeccable.
And about this course, I have seen many offline and online courses. Due to my vision complication, I couldn't complete them and I'm not satisfied with them. But this course was unique. I got good knowledge on theory and as well as on practicals.
I had good quality training. I'm lucky to have that.
After the end of the course, I have learned all the things I have expected.
And here I got the opportunity with Vision 8 by doing digital accessibility training, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was really nice experience.
When I joined this course, I newly joined with my organization, so I was not well versed with WCAG guidelines. Then I got the opportunity to join this course, and it was the very best and awesome experience with the Vision 8 organization for me.
After successful completion of this course, I can admit that something which began with a very casual attitude, now it's one of my ardent desires.
Vision 8 helped me to go in next level in accessibility training and testing.
My experience was good and I learned new things, ARIA concepts, HTML, WCAG guidelines and so on.
While joining this course, I was expecting overly technical and dry lectures, but the trainers explained everything in an easily understandable language.
I started enjoying the learning of accessibility and it gave me a great experience and satisfaction of learning.
I had a great experience with Vision 8. They supported and encouraged us and they shared the valuable experiences.
In this class, I learned a lot of new things. Here we got interacted with different technologies and their aspects. And lastly, that I think all of us got exposure of working in the mainstream office environment.
During the introductory session of our training program, we had a question from our trainer. Is disability physical or medical? Naturally, there was a mixed response from rest of the participants. But now, I feel wherever there is accessibility, there is no space for disability.
And I had a good experience with Vision 8. We had a good trainers, and thank you Vision 8 for providing me such an opportunity.
Trainers and interns were very supportive and because of them I learned a lot and it's helping me in my professional life now.
I thank Vision 8 group and family members.
Thank you each and every member of Vision 8 to provide such a good platform.
We thank Vision 8 not just for the training but the memories and friends that I made due to this course.
Thank you all.
On screen, Batch 2 Student Collage.
Ram, with his contacts and leveraging his network, brought us a paid project for digital accessibility testing, and we employed our own DAT graduates to execute the project. And here again, we have a very happy, satisfied client.
So I would like to thank Jayanti ma'am who gave me the opportunity to work pilot project of VisionAid.
So I have worked as accessibility tester in a live project through VisionAid.
I got the opportunity to work on a live project also with VisionAid. Believe me, it really boosts my confidence in the accessibility field.
So overall, I think we have a winner on hand, a highly scalable, repeatable training program with assured quality of teaching and learning. Plus, being able to give a live project experience to our DIT graduates.
I am with VisionAid since 2017. Currently, I am working as an accessibility testing trainer with VisionAid. Thank you.
And I'm happy to say that I'm currently working as an accessibility tester in one of the good companies in the accessibilities. Thank you so much, VisionAid, for each and every opportunity you provided for me. And I'm very happy to say that I'm very lucky to become a part of VisionAid family.
I'm happy to be associated with VisionAid. I wish the new digital center all the best and looking forward to many more programs. VisionAid has been doing great job in furthering the education of the blind in India, and I wish it many more years of success. Thank you.
I would like to thank VisionAid to give me the opportunity to be a part of DAT program. Today, I would like to wish VisionAid all the best and a very big congratulations for the inauguration of Virtual Digital Accessibility Testing and Training Center. Thank you all. Thank you from VisionAid and for everyone who is working along with VisionAid. Cheers.
I thank VisionAid for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge with larger community, and looking forward to have many more batches in future. My best wishes to VisionAid and DATTC Virtual Center in the mission of enable, educate and empower. Thank you.
I would like to thank Ram and Narasimhan, with whom I work very closely, for having the trust and confidence in me and giving me the entire freedom to put things in place the way I thought would be effective. I'm sure DATT Center has a great future, and we're going to train many more trainees, and we're going to be involved in many projects which would help in turn to create more training programs. I wish VisionAid a lot of success, a lot more successful training programs, and hope to be a part in all this. Thank you.
Written on screen, thank you all from VisionAid family. Written on screen.
Thank you, DAT team and students, for those wonderful and inspiring messages. It was lovely getting to know you through these short videos. I know most of you are here on the call with us today, and on behalf of everyone attending the event, I warmly congratulate all of you on completing your first important steps in the journey. I know there were some small, video glitches, but I hope people could see most of the film. Now it gives me immense pleasure to invite some of the very special members of our VisionAid family and introduce them to you. Our chief guest, Chinari, also called Sundari Mitra. She's interchangeably Chinari or Sundari Mitra, and her husband, Samir Mitra of California, who made a generous donation to VisionAid, which helped us to cover a significant part of the cost of training of around 30 students who graduated in the first 2 batches of our training program. Thanks to their support, VisionAid could offer the training at a highly subsidized cost to our students and also equip the DATTC with the tools and technologies to support the training and live projects. First, I'm pleased to introduce Samir Mitra. Samir was born in Chicago, US, to Raksha and Girish Mitra. He has one younger brother, Amol, who lives in Singapore. When he was 12 years old, their family moved to India. Samir's mother was on a wheelchair due to the medical condition of muscular dystrophy. But despite her disability, she managed to support her husband to become a very successful businessman and has brought up two very confident children who are both successful executives in their companies. She has inspired both Samir and Chinnari to value the privileges they have as able human beings and take care of their fellow human beings who can do equally well with some support and help. Samir is a technologist and successful serial entrepreneur. He is presently the CEO of a healthcare software company called Cura Technologies. Samir and Chinari met in college. They have been married happily for 34 years and are best friends for life. They have two children who are the joy of their lives. Sachin, their son, is doing his MBA, and Shivani, their daughter, is working here in Boston. Welcome, Samir. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Chinari, also known as Sundari Mitra. Chinari is the third child of Kamala and Sahadev Rao. She has two older brothers who are both engineers, and she has always wanted to study at least as much as them. As a child, she remembers her home being full of love and compassion and being told that there were no limitations as to how much success she could achieve. She was loved and nurtured by both her parents and strongly encouraged by her mother. We're very fortunate to have her, Kamla Vissa, to take on a professional field of study. She's forever grateful to her parents for giving her the most important gift a parent can give to their children: confidence in oneself and staying honest and truthful, and that it always wins. Chinari is a computer engineer who has worked at Intel and Sun Microsystems. She has started two successful companies and now is a senior executive at Intel Corporation. Welcome, Chinari. I would now like to request Chairman Emeritus of VisionAid India, Shri M.S. Raju, to introduce the parents of Chinari and Samir, Mrs. Kamla Sahadev and Mr. Vissa Sahadev, in whose honor they started the DAT Center. Shri M.S. Raju, over to you.
You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Can you hear now?
Now we can hear you. Please go ahead.
I am M.S. Raju, co-founder Old Man of VisionAid, speaking to you from Visakhapatnam, India. A good day to all of you. The pleasant duty to introduce our dignitaries is given to me by Revati. Sahadev Rao Vissa, that is Sahadev, is a super senior citizen who currently lives in Bangalore, a mining and metallurgy graduate from the Premier Institute, IIT Banaras. Sahadev was selected by the Oil and Natural Gas Commission of India as junior scientific officer in the 1950s. He trained in oil exploration in the erstwhile Soviet Union and in due course rose to the position of chief scientific officer. He was in the team that has, to its credit, the discovery of the famous Bombay High offshore oil field of India. Sahadev's illustrious wife, Kamala, who is here, is the youngest daughter of the Mysore Desharaj family. Her father, late Narasimha Rao, was chief engineer of Mysore State Railway. Kamala exhibits indefatigable energy, and her qualifications and character always show through as a role model. In her working career, she excelled in teaching, which is her passion to this day. Kamala and Sahadev have three brilliant children: Uday, Sanjay, and Sundari. You already been told that she's also known as Chinari. All of them are engineers with degrees in metallurgy, mechanical, or computers, as the case may be. I'm particularly delighted and happy because Sundari and her husband Samir Mitra are joining us from California today. They are well-known industry captains, and more importantly, they have philanthropy in their blood that made them patrons of VisionAid. I extend a hearty welcome to them. I now request seniors Kamla and Sahadev to say a few words if they like, and then give the mic to Sundari and Samir Mitra. Believe me, the gathering is eager to listen to them. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you so much. I am indeed very, very happy to be with this august set of people, and I have no words to say about the VisionAid programs. They are really beyond my reach. They are doing immense service to the society, and the brainchild of all this is Mr. M.S. Raju, and his son and daughter-in-law have taken it up in America as well. And I'm sure it will spread all over the world. And it is having a very big impact in India, as already we have heard so many of them getting trained in this knowledge of, what do you say?
VisionAid.
Accessibility for industries to employ them. That is the most important thing. Visually
Visually impaired.
Impaired people are having an utmost advantage by getting training in this organization, and I'm very happy my daughter and son-in-law are contributing to this organization, and I wish all success and many more achievements to this organization. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, Kamla and Sadev Rao. And I now invite Sundari and Samir Mitra to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Revati. You know, I was just looking at my emotionally charged mother and just so impressed at her ability to articulate her feelings about VisionAid. I think she said it much better than I could ever. But it's such a privilege. It's an honor to be a part of this family that has pioneered this work. I know, Bavagaru Balaka, you started this with just a few friends many years ago. And I hope all of us will continue that legacy. You know, starting the DAT program in the name of my parents is encouragement for me, for our entire family, to ensure that it's going to continue forever and ever, and it's going to grow and be able to help our fellow brethren who are not as lucky and fortunate as we have been, where we are not disabled and able to scale and reach the heights that we have. You know, what I would like to say is that Samir and I have kind of grown up in an environment with a ton of love, support, most importantly, encouragement to actually channel our intellectual curiosity and grow into individuals who can achieve the success we have in our technology field. Through this endowment, through this you know, service to VisionAid from both of us, what we are hoping is we can extend that ability for visually impaired individuals to learn and thrive and get independent on their own. That's our desire, that's our hope. We have a really dear friend of ours in UK who is a well-known banker in the world, and he is 100% clinically blind. He has inspired Samir and me tremendously, as well as our children. He is Suhas Kulkarni. He could not join us today on the side, but there is a quote from him that I'm going to read out. He says, "The world is well versed to people with zero vision and full sight, but it is challenged by those with vision and zero sight." right? So with that, I'm going to kind of hand it back. Maybe Samir, you want to say a word or two?
Okay, well, thank you very much. We are so joyed and privileged to be part of the Vision 8 family. We really are truly inspired by the videos that we heard of people who have really, you can feel and see it in their voice and in their body language that they have now dignity in their life through some sort of job contribution they can make to society rather than feeling that they're a burden. And I think that in itself is really the objective that both Janai and I have, is to provide this help and assistance and any little work we can do, contributions we can do to give that to different people in so many different walks of life who have this disability. We are very much privileged.
Thank you so much, Samir and Sundari Mitra, and to the whole, and to Kamla and Sahadev. Vesa Rao, I'd like to just invite our chairman of Vision Aid US, Mr. Puran Dang, to say a few words. Puranji, are you on? Thank you again.
You can hear me? You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Puranji.
Okay. Good morning. My congratulations to all the students. It is so heartwarming that how this DATTC program by Samir and Sundari is creating such good results. It is a wonderful act of giving. My respectful namaste to Sadevji and Kamlaji. And we heard them, we saw them. It is so humanizing. On behalf of Vision 8, as chairman of Vision 8 USA, it is my great honor to congratulate and thank Samirji and Sundriji for giving such a big gift, which will be a lifelong gift to all the people in need, and it will spread the light all around. It is said that, Gandhiji said, in fact, that you be the change if you want change in the world. So there are few people like Sundari and Samir who are giving this example. And, you know, by giving this, they are doing an act of God. Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So giving is so important. And at this time, my heart is full of so much gratitude for Sri and for Samir Mitra that they are doing such a great act, which is wonderful. And this light will continue forever, giving support to the people who will have a better life after this DATTC training. I am getting little emotional after seeing all these students. But I would say this, that by the generosity of Samir and Sundari, you know, this is going to be a historic event for Vision 8 for the future. I thank you. I thank you from my heart. I thank you from Vision 8. God bless you for such a kind act. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puranji. You summed it up beautifully on behalf of all of us at Vision 8. So I just want to briefly say a few words about Mr. Purandang. He is our chairman and he is one of the most well-known and well-respected Indian NRI citizens in the New England area. He is the head of many, many non-profit organizations. We are always fortunate to have Puranji in our midst, guiding us here as our chairman as well. So thank you, Puranji and Kamlesh for being part of Vision 8 and always guiding us in our work. Thank you also for your beautiful speech, which summed it up for all of us. I'd now like to invite a few of our special guests. I'm going to begin with Dr. Chuck that you see on the screen. He's Dr. Charles Severance, a professor, a highly respected educator in the field of computer programming. Not only does he teach at the University of Michigan, he actually runs a course on Coursera, which has 1 million+ students, which is a record in itself. So he's actually a globally known educator. He has been a longtime supporter of VisionAid. He has visited our work in India. We use Dr. Chuck's training program to train visually impaired students in India for many years. He has also met and known several of our students, and he's a friend and well-wisher. And today we are also talking to Dr. Chuck about accessibility testing and training, and he has some exciting work. So just wanted to invite Dr. Chuck to say a few words to our students and anything else which you have in mind.
So thank you, Ram. I am humbled and honored to participate in your celebration and appreciate giving even just a minute or two to talk. I was excited to see Jayanthi at the beginning. It is just over 2 years ago that we met in Bengaluru and took a side trip to the Nethra School. And that side trip changed my life forever. And in a sense, made it so that I'm going to be part of VisionAid for the rest of my life, contributing in any way that I can joyfully. I come at this from a perspective that I felt my whole life, and that is that technology careers are a great thing for visually impaired young people. They have lots of advantages. I know that I do my best work when I'm like sleeping or my eyes closed or doesn't require visual. There's so much abstraction and abstract thinking in technology, but the disadvantage is that we teach almost exclusively visually. We draw pictures for each other. And so that disconnect between how we teach and what it takes, the skills, the skills don't necessarily require vision in the same way that learning. And so for me, that's just an engineering problem, right? The engineering problem is how we can adapt teaching in a way that these beautiful abstract concepts can be communicated without needing visual props. And so we've been playing, Chris Knapp, who's also on the call, and I've been playing with trying to build Braille sample codes so that some of the visual parts of coding are easier. I want to build some physical block diagrams. So that, to me, this is just an engineering challenge. And what I like about today's celebration is that, well, while Ram said it was about special training skills, which is one of the many things that VisionAid focuses on, the one that stuck out to me that I think is important on this one, which everything's important, is the livelihood assistance. Because from the beginning, I thought to myself, the goal here is to create productive citizens that can earn money, find their way in society and contribute in positive ways to society and be compensated for that. And so this seems like such an ideal idea and such a wonderful concept. And so as Ram mentioned, we have talked about me becoming a customer of the students at this center and hiring them to help with digital accessibility testing on open source learning software that I'm the leader of called Sakai. And so I am really hopeful to become an early customer of the center and of course, continue my lifelong relationship with the VisionAid. So thank you for giving me a moment, Ram. Thank you for giving me a moment to speak.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time. I know you're such a busy guy with so many demands on your time, and it's such a pleasure for us to have you here, and can't thank you enough for taking time and also keeping us in mind, always being a friend, a supporter, and keeping us in mind for our future work. Because giving a gift of, as a donation is always valuable. We always need it. We always do our best to use it. But here we're actually talking about actually creating employment for our students. And that's a very, very special kind of a thing. So thank you so much. And we'll be in touch again. Thanks again for taking time to join us today, Dr. Chuck. And your whole team, whoever's here with you. I think Chris is on the line. Anyone else? Hello to everyone. And thank you for joining us today. I'll move on to our next guest, a very special person, joining us from Madurai. And Dr. Vijay Lakshmi is the co-founder, one of the co-founders of the Arvind Eye Care System in Madurai. And it's a very well-known institution in itself. Arvind probably needs no introduction for most people on the call. It's actually one of the largest eye care systems in the world. Dr. Vijay Lakshmi has been an early partner, early champion and stakeholder for VisionAid. We're very happy to have you here along with the whole Arvind's team. Welcome, Dr. Vijay. Would like to request you to say a few words as well.
And first of all, thank you, Ram and Narasimhan, for this opportunity. And I am just overwhelmed by seeing what you have achieved in this few years' time. And I happen to know, come across VisionAid 3 years ago. So I am being an ophthalmologist. I know to do a best surgery, but I was not a good technical person to know all the technology, whatever is being spoken. So when we were having a difficulty in innovating an app for book reading for our own population in our area, just then we came across the VisionAid, and they said they can be a good resource for training in computers. So I was thinking that is the best thing to achieve along with the training in the mobile apps. But now the next thing has come. So in 2-3 years, I could see how the VisionAid has been growing. And I don't think they will never stop saying that they have achieved enough. And this achievement is going to go further and further. And I wish you many more success in that. Not only that thing, but whatever you achieved, but the joy, the smiles I see with Ram and Revati whenever they are here in India, their involvement, that tells me how much they are involved in the mission of this VisionAid. And then though they are doing a part-time job, but this doesn't look like a part-time job. This looks like a full-time job where they are now. So I wish you all success. And as one of the students said, nicely, very nicely, when there is accessibility, there is no disability. How confident they look like. Both almost all the students are so confident in what they have learned and what they are going to do. They have plans for their own future. Who can achieve this kind of a confidence in these kind of disabilities? So my applaud, my admiration, and my blessings to the whole VisionAid team to achieve more and more in this field. And I think, as you said earlier, together we can definitely go to more of this population and help them who are in need. Thank you very much, Ram, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much. And we are very, very happy and proud to partner with Arvind. And we have a VisionAid Resource Center in Arvind with a wonderful team. Many of the team members are here. I see Dr. Sahitya, I think Flora is on as well, many others. And please pay a visit if you go to Madurai and see the work which is going on the ground. Everyone who goes and sees the work being done at the VisionAid Resource Center in Madurai comes back impressed with and inspired with the work which is going on day in and day out. From here, sitting halfway around the world, we can only mobilize funds and maybe give some know-how and some assistance. The real work is being done by the team at Arvind, and we're very thankful for the team and allowing us to provide a service through your work. So thank you so much to you and to all the members. Thank you for your blessings to all our students as well, which I'm sure is very valuable. And now I'd like to introduce a very special person who probably needs no introduction to anyone. It's an iconic figure in the field of eye care in India, known to many people around the world. Dr. G.N. Rao is the chairman of the L.V. Prasad Eye Institute in Hyderabad, India. He has held several positions, including being chairman of the International Association for Prevention of Blindness. LVPI is an iconic institution in India, and they have done groundbreaking work. In fact, we were kind of, following the footsteps of a lot of the work, pioneering work Dr. G.N. Rao did. We are blessed to have you here with us, sir. Would like to request you to say a few words to our students and on this occasion.
Thank you so much, Ram, and members of the Vision Aid family for giving me this opportunity. I think throughout the evening, the one message that came through all the time was transformational, transforming lives and making a huge difference. And achieving that transformation and then making it impactful is even more difficult. Through your work over the years and with this new program that you have initiated, you have contributed to several dimensions of that particular goal. I used to be associated with the Global Vision 2020, the Right to Sight program, which is a joint program of the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness and World Health Organization. The aspiration of that program was to eliminate all avoidable blindness in the world by the year 2020. And for those with irreversible vision loss, to make sure that they realize their full potential. The work that your organization has been doing is contributing significantly to realize that global vision. And for that, my congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to the 30 graduates of today and their proud families and their proud instructors. And to all the people who contributed for this phenomenon. I also commend the donors who have made this kind of program possible. Because philanthropic spirit is very important to initiate and implement such impactful programs anywhere in the world. And for that, I want to thank the Mitras for their very generous gesture. And I leave with one quote from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Strength does not come from physical capacity, but from an indomitable will." Through this kind of program, for these youngsters, you have put that spirit to grow that indomitable will, even though they have a physical limitation. For that, I would like to congratulate you one more time. Thanks again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for taking time. It is always an honor and privilege to have you join us and have your blessings and good wishes, being such a leader in the field. So thank you for your kind words for our students and for the humble work we are doing today. And thanks to everyone in LVPI. Several people are on the call, so hello to all of them. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedules to join us today. So with that, I now move to the concluding segment of our program. And I would like to now invite President of Vision Aid USA to first offer a vote of thanks on behalf of all of us here in the USA. And then we will ask our President of India to offer the vote of thanks for the event, and then we will close the event. So Mr. Syed Rizvi, over to you.
Thank you, Ram. Dear Vision Aid donors, sponsors, supporters, members, volunteers, leaders of various organizations and partner organizations, friends and well-wishers. Greetings to you all based upon your time zone. Many of you joined from India, so good evening to you, good morning in America, and of course, if somebody from Europe, good afternoon to you. and I'm sure there are people from many time zones today. My name is Syed Ali Rizvi, and I serve currently as a voluntary president of VisionAid, Inc. On my personal behalf and on behalf of the entire executive committee and the VisionAid board of directors and board of advisors, I thank each and every one of you who joined us in this very important virtual launch of the Digital Accessibility Testing and Training Center. VisionAid has constantly, for the past 15 years, expanded and included many programs as we moved forth and gained expertise in those areas. We have been consistent in our outlook, commitment, and service to the visually impaired students. Thanks to all those who are making this work possible. You have seen and heard our students today who graduated, along with those who were responsible to launch and see through this program successfully. The VisionAid India team, Mr. M.S. Raju, the grand old man, or shall I say the grand young man of VisionAid, who was the founder many, many years ago. The India head of VisionAid India, Mr. V.L. Narasimhan, Ms. Jayanti, Colonel M. Sitaram, Mr. Anshuman Agarwal, and many others who helped put this all together. Thanks to all our sponsors and our donors who stand as solid pillars in providing the financial resources. Without their constant support, we will not be able to do this kind of work. VisionAid also understands and appreciates and thanks the leaders of our guest organizations who are here. We heard from many of them. Your associations and organizations and hospitals and schools are doing tremendously good work. And thank you for supporting the causes that you all do, and you come together to partner with us and do it jointly. VisionAid is also grateful to all its members who have placed their faith and commitment in the very federal work that we all do. You all have invested your time in us and your resources and came and watched and saw our growth and enjoyed the programs we put together for all of us. I would like to especially thank today the donors of this program today, Ms. Sundari Mitra, and I forget her other name that you mentioned, Mr. Raju. But Ms. Sundari, I'm sorry? Chinari, yes. Ms. Chinari Mitra or Sundari Mitra, Samir Mitra, that have launched this program in the honor of the parents of Ms. Mitra, Mr. Visa Sahadev Rao and Mrs. Kamala Sahadev. And thank you for your donation, which provided these resources to launch this wonderful program as you saw today. I may have missed many people around here who I may not have seen, who may not have spoken, but I see some partners here. We heard Mr. Rao, we heard Ms. Lakshmi from, and also I think we have somebody from Shroff in Delhi. Is it Manisha Agarwal? Dr. Agarwal, is she here? Okay, well, thank you all for joining. But if I've missed anybody, it's purely because of oversight and because when you reach my age, you have the same problems happening. And again, a big thanks to all the volunteers. Koi program ho, chahe chota ho ya bada ho, its success depends upon the work that all of us do together and when you get involved in it. And I'm sorry, Charles, you may not understand this part of this, my thanking, but I have to say this in my own words. Jo dost, sathi, maa, behne, bache, dada, dadi, nana, nani, dost, who all are here, all our friends who are here. Thank you all for being for VisionAid. You are our inspiration in the work that we all do together. So once again, thank you all for coming together for this wonderful program. We feel so blessed to be able to partner in all these causes that we all do together for the benefit of visually impaired students. Thank you so much, and have a terrific Sunday evening or morning.
Thank you so much, Ali. And you had mentioned Dr. Manisha Agarwal from Delhi, and I just made Manisha a co-host. And Manisha, if you can say a few words, that would be more than welcome. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Pleasure to have you on, Manisha. Thank you, and thanks to everyone from the Shroff team for joining us today.
So thank you so much. And it was a real pleasure for me to listen to all the beneficiaries of this wonderful project, which has been going on under the aegis of VisionAid. And we have been associated at Shroff's with VisionAid for the last 1 year. And it is indeed very overwhelming to see how our patients, whom we could not really benefit medically or surgically, but now with the support of VisionAid, we are able to offer them something and which is helping them to lead a dignified life. Other contribution which I would especially like to mention, which VisionAid has brought into our hospital, is a number of patients who could not afford to buy low vision devices, but are now able to get them again through the benefit or through the support provided by VisionAid. So I just want to thank the entire team of VisionAid for their great support and the great work they are doing. They are indeed touching lives of so many people whom we could not do it on our own behalf. So all the best for future.
Thank you so much, Manisha. Pleasure to have you on. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for the good work you do every day on the ground at the VisionAid Center. It's through you that we get the work done. Pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Manisha.
Same here. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that, again, our apologies to the many friends and partners who are on the call. Because of the limitations of time, we are unable to call out to you. We'll have a separate call inviting all the partners to showcase their work. But thanks to one and all for joining. I now invite our president of VisionAid India, Colonel Dr. Sitaram. A brief introduction. Dr. Sitaram just assumed the role as a president of VisionAid India a month ago. And he has served India for over 30 years in the army as a colonel in the army, retired from the armed forces medical corps as a senior leader. We are fortunate to have him here with us today. And he assumes a role as a volunteer president, and he brings with him a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom. So Colonel Sitaram, we'll hand it over to you for the final part of the event and to offer your closing words.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Sitaram from Hyderabad. I'm a cardiologist basically. And it's my pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks for such a wonderful convocation that we had of people who have finished their certification. Now, I'm a doctor, so I think having normal vision is like oxygen. We all take oxygen for granted. We don't even think about it. But only those people who are always have got some problems in the lungs and they have to struggle all the time to get their quota of oxygen in the lungs, they know what it's like to fight against this. And now with the aid of doctors and friends, they somehow managed to get along with life. And then this big invention came along, the digital world full of promise and full of dreams, and such a pleasant thing to have. Really explore. You can explore your creativity. You can do anything with the internet. But suddenly there's a big wall. Only people with normal vision are allowed beyond this wall. All the people with impaired vision who cannot utilize their computers to access this digital world are denied. And there's really nothing we can do about it. But fortunately, for people like Ram and Revati, we have managed to hack a wall into pieces and have cut a trail in the forest to allow these people again access to digital world by various accessibility techniques. And I'm going to have all of them are going to have enriched lives and explore their full potential. So today it was such a pleasure to see the students speak with great confidence, and it was such a pleasure to hear Professor Dang and Professor Rao and such great luminaries and express their views. And I must thank VLN Narasimhan and Ramakrishna as well as Revati for doing such a lot of hard work to put all this show together to explain how the whole thing is done. And thank all the sponsors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you all a good success.
Thank you, Dr. Sitaram. And just a final shout out to the whole VisionAid leadership team. All of them are on the call here today, and thank you all for joining. The list is long, so we will not call out each individual by name, but you know who you are, and we really appreciate having you on the call and giving us your support. Leadership team from India, leadership team from the US, many volunteers, many friends. Thank you all for joining, and good night to the folks in India. It's 10 p.m., so we are going to end the call now. And good day to the folks here in the US. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you all for joining. And we will stay back and keep the line open for questions. So if anyone has questions or things they want to discuss, feel free to stay back. We will stick around here for a few more minutes.
Do you want to unmute everybody, Ram?
Yes, at this point, we will unmute everyone so people can speak freely, but anyone who wants to drop off is free to drop off. Thank you for staying.
The whole, yeah.
I'm going to unmute everyone at this point, and just you should be able to speak. If you want, you have to unmute locally.
Stop the recording.
Dr. Gogate was here. Okay. Hi, Dr. Chak.
Yeah.
You're still recording.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you. Thanks for
thank you.
Thanks for